Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Friday version of Harmonize 2Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work for Jin Shin Jyutsu Incorporated remotely from my house. I hope you are all well. Hope you've had a good week. Thank you for all who joined on Wednesday. And we had a delightful conversation with Cora Michael from Colorado Springs. And I promise, download the copy, the replay, and send it to YouTube ASAP along with this one. So welcome everybody. For those of you that are new to Jin Shin Jyutsu, Jin Shin Jyutsu is an art of harmonizing energy in the body. And in Jin Shin Jyutsu, we do that by placing our hands, palms of our hands, backs of our hands, fingers. So we've begun the new year by looking at the safety energy locks. We began looking at safety energy lock number 9, end of a cycle, beginning of a new, then to safety energy lock number 10. And logically, we move next to safety energy lock number 11. And previously, when I've discussed safety energy locks, we've looked at Paul Foster Casey's book, The Tarot. But this time around, I thought we'd listen to some of the quotes from 0 to 26, the main central compilation, which includes various extracts from the main central written by our instructors. But first, let us look at actually where safety energy lock number 11 is on the body. And of course, what Mary had to say herself. So safety energy lock number 11 is located left and right, about just above the shoulder blade. If you're to place left or right hands, it might be easier to try one at a time. It's actually very close to the side of the neck. And Mary always used to say, just hold there, hang there like a coat hanger. So you can either connect to it by placing same side hand or opposite hand. And just feel around there, just close to the neck, top of the shoulders. I doubt whether it's that free, although some people I have worked with do have very gentle and soft energy locks. And Mary says it came into the universe meaning justice, getting rid of excess baggage. And it helps shoulder neck tension naturally, hip, leg, head, arm, elbow, wrist, hand, and finger discomforts. So, with that, let's have a look, see what some of our instructors had to say about safety energy lock 11. And we'll begin with Matthias Roth, who is no longer on the faculty, but nonetheless was an instructor for Jin Shin Jyutsu Incorporated for quite a while. So Matthias said, out of the richness of 10, you become 11. Out of the richness of 10, who would want to hold on? The limitless life power pouring through 10 enables you to unload the excess. And this is all we ever want to do with any safety energy lock. Drop the excess baggage. Absolutely. You want to release that excess energy that may be clinging to your cells, to your energy pathways, in order for fresh cosmic purified energy to flow through more congruently. So Matthias goes on to say, thus 11 becomes the hub of all safety energy locks, as here we learn to be Jin Shin Jyutsu. Nothing to fight for, nothing to fight against. Simple, drop tension and make room for harmony. Jed. The simplicity of Jed Schwartz, the simplicity of Jin Shin Jyutsu allows us to be more by being less. And our 11s become the fulcrum to clear the front, the 11 and the 15. 15's in the groin, helping the ascending energy and the back, 11 and 25, which is the buttocks, sit bone. 11 is the number for the 7th depth, the sun, shining down the front and the back. Or as Mary says too eloquently, be the dropping of the shoulders and smile. Well, when the sun's shining, most of us smile. So maybe you'll have that as an image when you hold your 11s. Safety Energy Lock 11 is an amplification of oneness in its strength, power, and dignity. And finally, last but not least, Lynn Pfluger, who was indeed also an instructor until she passed away, in my view, rather untimely. A beautiful lady with a great deal of insight, wisdom, and presence. So, years ago, she says she paid a visit to Scottsdale to receive Jin Shin Jyutsu sessions. During the week, I dreamt that I checked onto my homebound flight with empty suitcases. On another trip, I dreamt that I was receiving golden liquid pouring into my body from a silver pitcher through my 11s. As governor of the breath, 11 directs the smooth unloading down the front and inhaling up the back. 11 then is the hub of the basic principle of down the front, up the back. Holding both 11s at the end of a session will harmonize the breath. And that is something that I do, and possibly other practitioners who are watching also do. It allows you to reconnect with that facility for the breath to move smoothly down the front and up the back. So without further ado, let's do the practices. And those of you that have followed along with me know that I do these practices based on Mary's principle of the 4 sets of 9 exhalation inhalations, or the 36 breaths. I want to add here that 36 has its basis in the understanding of movement of energy from 4 different levels. But of course, you are the artist, and if it takes you longer than 36 breaths to feel what we call the rhythm of life, or the pulse, where you place your hands, where the energy is pulsating, gives you an idea that the energy is moving through that area. It feels like, sounds like, the radial artery pulse. We use the breath to enhance the movement of energy through the body and amplify the signal of the pulse. All right? But if it takes longer than 36 breaths, so be it. We got some practices here, this one here, and these two here, holding index, and that at 11 and 25, which Jed referred to. And here we're holding the opposite 11 with the ring finger and the thumb. And the reason we're doing that is because the ring finger represents lung and large intestine. And those of you that have studied Jin Shin Jyutsu will know that Safety Energy Lock 11 comes from 2nd depth, the governor of lung and large intestine. And of course, the opposite hand is over the 11. So we'll begin by doing this practice. Check which shoulder feels the tightest for you. And therefore, whichever shoulder is the tightest, the hand on that same side is going to have the thumb over the ring finger. When we breathe out from the back of the head at the occipital lobe, Safety Energy Lock number 4. We go down through the 15s in the groin, and we go to the big toe. Both big toes, the energy as it moves down the front will separate left and right supervisors, reaching the big toe number 7. And then from number 7, it will come back up through the 15 and actually through the 25 and back up 2 safety energy lock 4. So without further ado, let us begin. And I'm going to choose working on my left shoulder. Left shoulder, by the way, encourages, or left side encourages exhale, right side encourages inhale. Whichever you choose, close your eyes, drop your shoulders, keep your back as straight as you can. If that's difficult, get yourself a cush, tuck it up beneath you on your sit bones or wherever, however. Be comfortable. You're relaxing and letting go of excess baggage with number 11. So we're going to do 9 exhalation inhalations in this pose. Here we go. Exhale, all the way from the head, through the 15, down to the big toe. Inhale, bringing in cosmic purified energy, big toe, 15, 25, back to 4. 8 more times. Close eyes, relax, drop that excess baggage. Nowhere else to go except the present moment. Be in that moment. Feel the connection of your toes to the ground beneath. It's called the ground because it can ground that energy, make it more material, if you like, connect you to the earth. Heaven meets earth. Our visions and dreams can become reality or not, according to how much of a connection we have between heaven and earth. Heaven the head, earth the feet. But of course, if our 15 area, the groin, is blocked, that bridge, heaven can't get to earth and earth cannot get to heaven. So, perhaps you're beginning to realize the importance of these different segments of the body, these different sections, the head, the groin, the feet. And slowly or rapidly, those shoulders will begin to melt. We're letting go in order to grow, evolve, expand, transform. When we reach that 9th exhalation inhalation, just relax into that energy field, which is what it is, a field. And just observe how and where you feel. Don't give it too much thought, just give it awareness. Witness. We need to take a pause after the 9 to experience space, which is another representation of 9th depth, because transformation happens more easily in space, where there's a gap. There's too much confusion, material, in a room, you notice your energy feels different. It feels maybe congested. When it's spacious and the clutter isn't so obvious, or it's more organized, notice the difference. Space. All right, so the next practice is holding left or right index finger. And I just want to say here, if you found that previous exercise you wanted to carry on, or you wanted to do it with the other shoulder, be my guest. No rules here. Just make sure we're practicing the 9th exhalation inhalations. Otherwise, hold a left or right index finger, which some of you know also harmonizes kidney and bladder, which is also more strongly present, that function in the winter. And lung, large intestine support. The breath supports kidney. So when you think about kidney, bladder, and corresponding attitudes, when it's out of harmony, fear, breathe out, hold your index finger. So choose right or left, do a little bit of investigation on the segments of the finger, especially the sides. Often that's where things are a little congested. And once you've chosen, place your hands in the middle 15, which is the pubic bone. Close your eyes, drop your shoulders, and 9 exhalations, inhalations. Here we go. And usually, hopefully, the more you practice, the more you progress, and those shoulders begin to melt. As if you're in an elevator, shoulders moving down through the 15 to the 7s, or through the groin to the toes, and then back up again. That sense of sinking. Too often we raise our shoulders because we're in a state of overwhelm or false evidence, appearing real illusion. We're reacting rather than realizing the moment. We react to the moment or in the moment. Just respond and realize. Become real. Real and eyes, think about it. What you see, how real is it to you? When you have real eyes, you see with the eyes of the Creator. Safety Energy Lock 20. Up there in the head. Real eyes observe the harmony. And when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, again, Slip into the neutral zone, the space, the witness, and just observe. You will be different than you were 18 breaths ago. You may not be aware of it, but you will be. The mere fact that you've practiced letting go has reduced the excess baggage on your shoulders. When you go to the airport with your suitcases overflowing with this, that, and the other, and they tell you, sorry, can't take that on board, be happy, let it go. Of course, if they charge you extra, then you're having to give out more, so that's even more letting go. All right, last practice on this sheet. We're going to hold the 11, left or right, with the sit bone. Check it out. Here we go. 9 exhalation, inhalations. The energy moves in spirals, so maybe you're clairvoyant, you can see golden spirals of energy moving down the front of the body, left and right. Engaging with the earth, and deep into the earth, grounding, and then reversing and coming up, but actually not changing direction. Harmony spirals in a positive direction, or clockwise. And that's what we want to bring into our life, that life energy that harmonizes, and let go of that which doesn't. And after a while, you get attuned to the kind of field of energy you love to be in, that which nurtures, nourishes you. And it may mean choosing jobs, choosing who you hang with, choosing what you eat. But it's a process of purification that allows you to become more real, to be more in touch with your soul, or spirit if you prefer that word, and engage in that connection with the universal energy, the cosmic intelligence. If you're ever indecisive, you probably need to let go of some thoughts that are blocking the clarity of your mind and allow the universal intelligence to come and give you that clarity by moving out what is in the way, really. Thoughts that block, worries, all the attitudes and fears. And maybe you're feeling the pulse at the sit bone and the shoulder 11, or maybe not. Like I said at the beginning, you can do more than 36 breaths if necessary. And when we swap positions, you can stay with the same one. So when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, sit with it for a little bit. Feel the connection, witness where you are. And then for the last 9, give yourself a hug. Right hand under left armpit with the fingers to the side of the shoulder blade and the thumb underneath the shoulder girdle. And the opposite is also true. You can give yourself a hug like this. If this is uncomfortable, Take one hand away and put it on the upper thigh or high one with the same side leg. All right. And close eyes, exhale, drop shoulders, smile if it comes naturally, authentically, or fake it till you make it. Let go. All the way down. And receive all the way up. And you know, if you just did this pose for 36 breaths, opening as it does the bus line, you're harmonizing and balancing potentially the whole of the heart, lung area. And fifth and second depth connect, which is lung, large intestine, and heart, small intestine. Connect back to that sixth depth spine, that main central. So what more do you want? So this in and of itself could be a complete practice. And you're hugging yourself. When large intestine, lung are unburdened, we can relax into the breath of life. What more do you want? All right. So now let's draw yourself to your ninth exhalation, inhalation, if you will. And now I'll take a quick leer and peer at what's happening in the world of Jin Shin Jyutsu. Bear with me. Those upcoming in-person and online events. I say in-person because we do actually mark some classes down as in-person. They just don't always happen according to the regional response to COVID. But you never know, so always check the site regularly for updates. Coming up, Saturday, January the 29th, which is a couple of weeks from now, yours truly will be hosting Anita Willoughby, one of our long-term instructors, for the 2-hour webinars. And she's going to be talking about back to the breath for a healthy and happy back. Right, an in-depth look at the sacrum, coccyx, and pelvic bowl through examining the following: the role of the pelvic diaphragm in breathing and movement, pathway of the bladder and kidney through the pelvis, how breath is the fundamental movement, how breath supports muscles, how muscles support breath, and practice of self-help flows to support sacrum, coccyx, and pelvic floor. Yes, that connection between second and fourth depth, lung, large intestine supporting kidney and bladder. So, register today, $35. Want to use PayPal, click here, and you get 3 months of replays. 5 days self-help beginning Monday. Is it? No. Wednesday, January the 19th, with Kelly and Sarah. Kelly Mount, Sarah, here are your two organizers. There's Kelly, there's Sarah. It's foundational to study self-help. Often people write to me and say, where do I begin? Self-help is one of the best places. Or now we also have a core principles course, which you can find under replays. Gives you that foundational knowledge to go forward and develop either as a practitioner for others or maybe an instructor, who knows, but it's certainly going to expand the foundation. Jiro Marai, the master that brought the information, that's how he harmonized himself, through self-help. All the times are here. For more information, connect either with Maggie King or Susan Kempfer. All their information is there. Or if you want to go anyway, register today there. Then Sarah returns on January the 26th for one of the basic 5-day classes, which is what you could begin to explore, study, experience in order to become a practitioner or just to expand your knowledge. Here's all the information. We divide it into 2 parts, 2 texts, text 1, text 2. Text 1, part 1 is the causal, and part 2 is the effect level. We talk about part 1 being, if you like, causal, can also be seen as karma, cause and effect. Part 2 is the result of the causal. And here we have the times. Whoops. Here we have the times, Wednesday. January to Sunday, January the 30th. There are all the times. New student fee there, review student fee. And that is a review student someone who has actually done a basic 5-day before, not someone who's done a self-help class or any other kind of class. It's for reviewers of the 5-day class. All right. Then we have a special topic class coming up February 5th and 6th with one of our long-term experienced European instructors, Walter Rodriguez Crowder, reversing and increasing at the depths and beyond. This is going to be very fascinating. Walter, some of you may know, has written a book, and it's a very in-depth understanding of Jin Shin Jyutsu with lots of color photos. You might want to check that out on the store. And she has very, I would say, almost prophetic insight into the language and study of Jin Shin Jyutsu. I'm going to say I've always enjoyed her classes, and she brings that unique insight to the reversing and increasing the depths, which you're going to learn about February the 5th and 6th. So here are all the class dates and times. Here are your organizers, and there is the fee. Now, if you've missed any classes and you want to catch up, go here, click on any of these links, and they're all available with their corresponding fees. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. And for those of you that were watching Wednesday when Cora was on, just a reminder, please let me know if you have a story or stories you want to share. You can write to me at info@jsjinc.com. Tell me all about anything that you would love to share with everyone, inspiring stories. And as I pointed out when Cora was on with us, how delightful the simplicity and authenticity of what Cora explained and related with us is the kind of quality that some of you may feel that it's a little intimidating. You get used to it. Exhale. Just be yourself. You don't have to have some magnificent, long, drawn-out story with all the different flows that you did under the sun. No. Just give a brief summary, and if you want to introduce certain kinds of self-help, go right ahead. Be yourself. I'm there. I'm always hanging around. I'll help you, support you in ways of approaching. But honestly, as soon as you begin, it flows. Practice makes progress. And there's going to be someone out there that's going to be interested in what you experienced, what you learned. And if it's about animals, bring your pet on, or your animal on, your animal friend. If it's about plants, bring your plant on. Just simply be in that field of you and know that sharing is serving others. It's wonderful to support others' growth, and you in turn will expand and grow. I'm not saying you should think, oh, the more I give, I should York time. In the meantime, have a good rest of the day, weekend, week until. Just carry on having a good time. Be harmonious as much as you can. Be safe, be sensible, be wise. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, cheerio, bye-bye. And I look forward to seeing you whenever.